Welcome, Negronis with Nord, episode number 61. I am back. I have had a tumultuous few weeks here. As you all know, I was quite ill on my birthday, which was a big bummer. Then I was in Cuba, which was not a bummer. It was lovely. You all should go. And I got sick on the way back from Cuba and was sick for a couple of days there, which sucked. I got 2 teeth pulled. I'm getting implants put in because of all of this wrestling stuff when I was starving myself in high school and my teeth fell out. So I'm talking a little weird right now. One, because I'm missing 2 of my back teeth. Also, my stitches are currently dissolving and I can feel my stitches sticking out in my mouth and it's very strange. So I'm back on the sauce for today. Also, we have not yet fixed the AC in my office, so once again, it's 80 degrees. It's very hot. I'm in a suit. We're just gonna jump into it. Let's get to questions. Question 1, are brands fooled by fake followers? I have a feeling so many content creators have fake followers because their views are low as well as their comments and likes, but smaller brands may not know this and think, wow, so many followers. What do you think about this? How big of an advantage is it? I'm gonna split this into a few things. People buying followers is fairly ubiquitous. I think it's not as big of a problem as it was years ago, and I think brands should absolutely protect themselves. Let's break a few things down. 1, we have tools that help you determine the health of someone's following. We never say they're fake or real followers because ultimately the only way to prove that somebody has bought followers is to literally see a receipt for them purchasing followers. That is the only way. Anyone who tells you that there is any other way to determine if somebody's bought followers is lying, right? There are a number of patterns and things that you can look for. One might be low likes, low view counts, and you might say, oh, this is a fake following. Well, the other thing is it might just be that they went viral years ago, got a bunch of followers, and those followers are no longer engaging with this account. There's a lot of accounts out there, especially influencers have been doing this for a long time. You know, their following was built over 10 years. And so the followers they got 10 years ago, many of them no longer engage with the accounts. And it may look like they bought those followers because they have low engagement, but ultimately they have an unhealthy following. And that's why we talk about follower health, not real versus fake followers. It's important to talk about it that way because, again, it's a big thing to accuse someone of buying followers. You're essentially accusing them of fraud, right? Because if you're buying followers to increase your follower count, which means that you can charge more money for brands, that means that you are defrauding and stealing from those brands. That's a big deal. It's something that if we knew an influencer was doing, we would obviously never work with them. But follower health is important. So for brands out there, if you don't have a tool like Fohr, where you can get reach numbers, I think you should be asking influencers what their reach numbers are. Ultimately, engagement rate, that matters, but reach numbers will let you know how healthy that following is. 15% is probably on the low end of what Instagram should be. Getting into the mid-20s, 30s is good. Anything above 30 is excellent. So if you get reach numbers back from an influencer that you want to work with and it's 5%, it doesn't matter if they bought that following or not. That following is not healthy. I probably would suggest not working with that person. View counts and likes, if you can't get, are a okay way to determine that. A lot of influencers who came up doing stills and captions are now being forced to do video, and maybe their audience doesn't like video and maybe they don't like videos. So there are many reasons that those posts could not be doing well other than buying followers, but absolutely make sure that the money that you are investing is going towards as many people as is humanly possible seeing that content. And for brands out there, if there's one kind of big hack, thing that everyone should be doing, it's focus on reach numbers and try and find the influencers that are a good brand fit that you are excited about, who have the highest reach numbers possible, and you can save so much money that way. Now, how big of an advantage is it? I think in the short term, like any form of cheating, buying followers can help you and take opportunities away from influencers who are doing things more honestly. In the long term, it comes out, right? Ultimately, if I went and bought 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, let's say, right? Now I have 130,000 followers. I could probably fool brands for a little while, and I could probably use it to get stays at hotels and do some other things, but ultimately those relationships wouldn't continue because the performance would be so bad, they would never come back. People would start to question it, and it wouldn't work. You can't hack your way to success. It's hard to cheat your way into sustainable success. And so as an influencer, I wouldn't worry too much about if the people that you're competing with are buying followers or not, because in the end, I do think it will come out, and those people that have an engaged, healthy audience will ultimately be more successful long term. Okay, question number 2 is about negotiating influencer rates. When a chosen influencer comes back to you with a rate that's too high, do you always negotiate from there? I think a fear of influencers is asking far too much and getting turned down and ignored rather than counteroffer. It's a great question. I think generally in a negotiation, it is unlikely that when you put a number out that the other party is just going to walk away and disengage. That said, while it's important to believe in your rate and yourself and throw out a number that feels healthy and exciting for you, I do think that if that number is devoid from reality, you do yourself a disservice by looking unprofessional. Let's say you're looking for an apartment in New York, average rent is $4,300. You go to an apartment, they've got a studio, new construction, looks nice, they want $4,000 for it, you say, I'll give you $200. They're probably gonna come back and say it's, $4,500. You do risk looking uninformed. And so I think that as an influencer, you should know what your market rate is. And then if you wanna negotiate up, then you can tend toward the higher end of that market rate, but throwing out completely ridiculous numbers does not do anyone any good. If you've got 10,000 followers and a brand reaches out and you say it's going to be $10,000 for a post when it should be a couple $100, I'm going to think this person not that's they really believe in themselves and they're a hard negotiator. I think they have no idea what they're talking about. And I don't know if I want to do business with somebody that is completely uninformed. Market, high end of market is okay. Same for brands. Offering low end of market is okay. It's a negotiation. Once you start taking advantage of influencers, lowballing them, trying to capitalize on a lack of education to take advantage of people, not okay. So it goes both ways. We make offers that we think are fair. We sometimes have room to negotiate, we sometimes don't. We feel it's more fair for us to go with a rate that we feel like this is market rate rather than ask influencers, because sometimes people do lowball themselves. Okay, last question. When is it time for a creative audit? Aside from posts that aren't performing, when is it time to spruce up your feed? What's the right time to shift aesthetics or try and weave in niche content? I think we have to remember this is your feed. This is your account. This is your little slice of the internet. If you wake up tomorrow and all you've done is beauty content for the last 5 years and you say, I am so fucking sick of makeup, I never want to do another one of these, I just want to talk about horses, do it, right? Ultimately, what matters is that you're passionate about it, that you care about it, that you're excited about it. I think that, when you start to feel like it's stale, when you start to feel like you want to switch it up, that's the time for creative audit. Publishing and creating content starts to feel like a drag. Maybe it's time to just take a step back. I think it can sneak up on you that you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 10 years. Not only do I do it every day, but then I go on vacation and I work even harder because I'm trying to document everything. And I've got all this amazing content because I'm in Tuscany for a week and I just want to crush it and I want to do everything perfect, right? And you end up being like, I've been creating content and publishing it every day for 10 years, 5 years, shit, even a year, It's okay to take a break. If you come back from that break and you still don't feel excited about it, ask yourself what you are excited about, And if your audience doesn't connect with it, ultimately, it's not sustainable. You can't, in the same way that I don't think you can hack or cheat your way into a sustainable career, you aren't going to be able to have a sustainable career if it's something you're not passionate about. Eventually, it will break you. It won't work. Your audience will realize that you've kind of fallen out of love with it. It will get pulled away from you one way or another. So I think it is why you have to Protect your passion and make sure that you continue to love what you're doing, you continue to be engaged with your audience, that you're not only doing this for their education and to help them and to create this community, but it should be something that you really enjoy as well. Without that, there's not much of a chance of finding success. It is 85 degrees in here. My mouth is a war zone. It looks like a World War I battlefield. So we're gonna say thank you and goodbye, and we'll see you next week.